Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Math Made Easy. Today, we'll be continuing how to solve quadratic equations in one variable by using the graphical method. Without further ado, let's begin. Now, remember there are four methods of solving quadratic equations. Number one is completing the square. Number two is using a quadratic formula. Number three is our graphical method. And number four, which is what you've already learned, is our factorization. So, without further ado, let's get into solving quadratic equations using the graphical method. Now, let's consider quadratic equation. Let's say I give you y equals to 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. Oh, my Apple Pencil is not working. Equals to minus 6. Yes, minus 6. Now, when we say y equals to 2x squared minus 5x minus 6, we're basically saying when does y equal to this expression here? When does the value of y become equal to this value? i.e., when x is what value will y be what value? When x is what value will y be what value? This is a function where you put in a value of x and you get in a certain value of y. And yet it is not really a function, because let's say I put coffee into a coffee machine, it will never give me apple juice. But for quadratic equations, it may be different. Because of the square function over here, if you put in a number and you put in a different number, it may give you the same outcome. Let's say you put in -1 and +1, you may still get in the same answer, even though you put in a different x value. So that's the main difference between quadratic functions and functions with base power 1. So let me draw this graph over here for you. So this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. Now the graph is going to look something like this. Yeah, something like that. Then this is 0, and this is the equation. So let me just label the points for you. This is our x-intercepts. This is our y-intercept. As you may know, to find the x-intercept, we sub y equals to 0 into the equation. To find the y-intercept, we sub x equals to 0. Now, to solve quadratic equations, how will the question usually phrase it like? Usually, the question will phrase it such that when 2x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals to 0, what is the value of x? Remember, solving quadratic equations is just finding the value of x when this expression is equal to 0. Now, from here, I've already drawn out the graph for you, but in the exams, you would have to draw the graph yourself. So it's usually a 5 to 6 mark question in the paper. So you draw the graph and then you plot the points yourself and solve it using the graphical method. Now, when we say it's equal to 0, over here, it says equal to 0 here, yet we've also said that y is equal to the same expression. So if y is equal to this expression and this expression is equal to 0, which means y is equals to 0. And what equation is y equals to 0 when we plot it out on a graph? Well, that is basically the x-axis. Because when y is 0, this is the x-axis. It's just the x-axis. It's just the x-axis. So we need to find the value of x when y is 0, which basically means finding the the x-intercepts. So what are the x-intercepts? It is when the graph cuts with the x-axis. Usually, there will be no points of intersection. There will be only one point of intersection, which is usually here at the turning point of the graph. Or there can be 2 points of intersection, which is usually the case in all your questions. Now from here, let's see a simple example. To solve the equation, to find the x-intercepts, you just draw the graph. Then you plot the points. Then you just read the graph by doing the dotted lines or whatever to find your x-intercepts. So now let me give you a little question over here. So this is how your question will look like. So they will give you a table over here in the top, and you have to use the expression to fill in the blanks. That's usually 1 mark. Then using those points, you draw out the table, which is here, and you draw the graph, which is here, using your graph paper. And from there, identify the x-intercepts. So number 1, identify the x-intercepts. The first intercept is here, the other intercept is here. And remember, we can only read up to half the smallest square, which means if this is 1, that means the smallest we can read is here, which is 4.2, and the lowest thing we can read is half of this box. So you see this box right here, we can read half of it, so it will become 4.246 4.6 sorry 4.45 in this half square bracket. Remember, you can read up to the smallest square. So now let me read the points here. Over here we see it is 0 to -1, and it is half the box of -1, which means it is negative 0.9, or you can just write negative 0.95. Usually I'll just write negative 0.9 if it is kinda not clear whether it's in the half middle box or not. And the second one over here should be exactly on the edge of the box, so we can say it's 3.4. And so there, from the graph, we can show that the answer is x equals to negative 0.9 or 3.4, and that is your answer. And that is the 4 ways of solving quadratic equations. leave down in the comments which you think is the fastest and easiest method for you to solve in your exams, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.